First topic of the show was Dave's show. By the way, big shout out to everybody that watches it live 12 p.m. throughout the week, every week, or every day, excuse me. Well, except the weekends. But I want to talk about this subject, which has some interesting things. And there's two stories surrounding it that should be a case for alarm, like people being alarmed. Now, we know that breakthrough cases with COVID are no longer breakthrough cases. They're not breakthrough cases. I don't think you can call them that because they happen too fucking often. UC Berkeley right now is having what they are deeming as an outbreak. I believe a game got canceled, football. And so you got Cal's football team. Here is my man's Robbie, big shout out, covered or brought up. I can't get the article for you. But you can see it where it's covered. They're trying to figure out what happened. But the San Francisco Chronicle was like, oh, there's an outbreak. What? Well, 99% of the team's vaccinated. How could this possibly happen? According to OSHA standards, that's considered a major outbreak. Their next game is canceled. We talked about that. But let's see what's going on here. And Alex Schultz covered this with the San Francisco Gate. And there are 44 COVID cases in the Cal football program. 44. That's a big number. That's a legitimate chunk of the fucking football team that, or at least members of the football team that are tied to the program that have COVID, despite there being a 99% vaccination rate. He says, wonders perhaps the team was given J&J, but was told by a spokesperson that Cal football was given roughly even mix of all of them. So all three of them, Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and late spring. You don't know which vaccines were given to the 44. What was it? Something else. I know he was trying to get some more information right here. Cal declined his request to clarify what was going on with Berkeley Department of Public Health, and they're ghosting him. If there is indeed a COVID outbreak on a 99% vaccinated team, the public deserves to know. And if there isn't, we should know that too. Look, I can explain this to you. It's not, you don't need to be an epidemiologist or a virologist to understand what's going on. In terms of the efficiency, the vaccines don't do what they claimed that they initially would do. And that was you couldn't carry the virus and you couldn't get sick. Again, that Dr. Rochelle Walensky, during the initial rollouts, made that specific claim. And then on August the 5th, she retracted that claim. And now we know that there's no, you can't stop basically there's transmission. And the jabs do not stop the transmission. And there's multiple studies showing, for example, viral loads in the people that have that are vaccinated versus unvaccinated that have the COVID is roughly the same. So this is why mandates and all of that, I mean, they never made any sense, but they especially are stupid and really only used to just punish people that didn't comply, as opposed to actually trying to save a life or pretending like you're under some new threat, because these guys can still catch it and these guys can still spread it. And it's happening very often. This isn't the only case. We talked about this. What was it, Northern Ireland? I can't remember if it was Ireland or Northern Ireland, where we covered it on the show. And there was a 99% vaccination rate for a county. And that county, despite that, has the highest case rate right now. It's simply not happening or working in the way that they claim that it will. It's not that difficult. But what happens is like when you're of the populace that was led to believe one thing and you did everything that they told you to do, okay, you continue to listen to everything it is that they said. Just because you wanted to get on the other side of things, they made you a promise of some sort of normalcy. So you said, fuck it, I'm going to get it. Or they maybe coerced you into getting it. And you wanted to live a normal life and you didn't want to have to be dealing with all of these issues. So you said, you know what, fuck it, I'll get it. And so what people try to do now is rationalize with that given situation. And it's sad because it's a bunch of folks that don't want to concede that they have been lied to or led to believe one thing and another thing was true. However you want to slice that up, it's up to you. You can do that for yourself. But people are rationalizing right now. It's like, well, how could this be? Look, you have eyes, and I feel like, I don't want to say most people, because a lot of people are fucking stupid, but I think there are so many people out there that are regular individuals that can put two and two together. And you can see that none of this makes sense. If it was anything like what they generally claimed, what we have now would have never happened. What we see in the South, which has all these openings in comparison to California and those guys, would not be, according to the CDC, having lower community transmission. The South, where we have these big football games and all of that, where Gavin Dipshit out of California said it was reckless when Texas was lifting the mandates that should have never been there. And now they have less community transmission than what California does. See, it would have never been close. Sweden, that doesn't exist at all. Sweden should have been, because they didn't do anything for the most part. Sweden should have been number one in terms of case rates and death rates in the world. It should have been close. Yet that didn't happen. And so we get more and more examples of it. And now we just have mountains of studies really proving that they can, because they can still transmit it and it doesn't prevent transmission. We've seen what we need to see. But the problem is that there's still so many people out there that simply don't want to accept the fact that they have been lied to. So they're trying to do mental gymnastics to convince themselves that this makes sense. Mental gymnastics to put it on you. Oh, it's the unvaccinated's fault. Like, these things don't make sense. They don't even hold up in terms of the data that they themselves are collecting. None of that makes sense. It cannot be true. But people that want to rationalize, because look, this is what it is, and this is what I believe. People that are not vaccinated right now serve as a reminder to each and every individual that they didn't have to do it. And yes, that varies upon what health and age demographic that you're in. But the idea that there's a bunch of us that said no and we're doing just as fine as they are really pisses them off. And it's a reminder, and it makes them feel some kind of way, which is why they're so aggressive against us, even though they could transmit the virus just like we can. So they're not high and mighty. They don't have the moral high ground here. You can still transmit it. They put these rules in play where, okay, if you're not vaccinated, you got to get tested and get shit stuck up your nose. Why? Why aren't you sticking shit up the nose of the people that are vaccinated? They can still pass it. They can still test positive. It's never too late to admit you got lied to. And there's no shame in that. Actually, there is shame. There's a lot of shame in it. I actually take that back. There's plenty of shame in it. You feel that shame and don't make the same goddamn mistake. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.